Welcome back to LawTalk, where if you have legal questions, we have legal answers every Friday at 3. Today we are honored to have Keith Fagundes, who's running for district attorney in Kings County in Hanford, with us today. And later on in the show, stay with us for Joby Jones, who's with Stop the Violence. It should be some interesting conversations with him. I've talked with him a little bit before the show, and he's doing a lot of good work. So, Keith, why are you running for DA? How did you get into this?
Well, I was a DA for about 12 years down in Kings County. I also practiced in Tulare counties, and I love the work. I didn't start off my career thinking I was going to be a DA or a deputy DA, a government employee. I went into law school believing I was going to be a rich, powerful lawyer, and when I finished law school, a friend of mine who's a well-established attorney in Hanford recommended I go get trial experience. So I did, and after working for just 2 or 3 short years as a deputy DA, I loved the work. I loved working with the officers, the victims. I loved the impact I was having on the community. After about 5 years, I came back home. I started working in Kings County. And of course, being from the community, it was such a great place to be. And when I would go to Home Depot and Lowe's and see all these other stores out there, these folks would see me, they'd thank me for handling their cases, and it was a good feeling. My children were proud of me for what I did, and I loved the work.
It's like being a teacher. You can't go anywhere.
It is.
If you're a teacher without having all the kids and people that you had over the years come up and say hello.
And when you look into the eyes of somebody who's truly appreciative, you feel it inside, and it's a great feeling. So I love the work. I was dedicated to the work, and we had a new DA start a few years ago. There was a huge change in the office, some things that I just didn't think were becoming of a district attorney's office. So I chose to leave, and I started my own practice. I've been very successful. I've been able to continue to help people, been able to continue to seek the truth out, even in criminal cases, and just give people that helping hand they need. And again, a lot of people helping me on my campaign right now are people that I've helped out, people I've given a helping hand to, and it's worked out for them.
And so you can see things from both sides. You've been on both sides. I always think that makes the best attorneys, the best advocates.
Right. I have a friend of mine who's a judge now, several friends who are judges, but one in particular, he and I have had many conversations about what makes the best prosecutors, what makes the best defense attorneys. And we have determined that the best prosecutors and the best defense attorneys are somebody who can do both sides. And when I left the DA's office, I was so dedicated, and law enforcement was so dedicated with me that they couldn't see me on the other side. It was, they used to joke with
transition.
me. Oh, it was. and they would joke with me and say, hey, now how does it feel to be on the dark side now? And I'd tell them, it ain't so dark once you get over here and you start to see that you still seek the truth, you still uphold the law, and you still do what's right. So it's really not that hard to do both sides of the fence, but being my own practice, I still have the opportunity to help people in their family law dissolutions. I help people with child custody. I help people with their wills and estates. And, as much as we hate to put off dying, everybody's going to die someday. So when you sit them down and you give them that plan and that peace of mind that they're going to be able to live life with a peace of mind, or that their estate's going to be distributed, that too gives you a good feeling.
Yeah, that's good. Well, so it sounds like you're doing pretty well in your own practice now. How did anybody ever drag you away from that to get you to go do some crazy thing like run for district attorney?
Well, I make no mistake, I still do a lot of criminal law. That is, probably more than 3/4 of my practice right now. Because, again, that's the bread and butter. I did it for 12 years. I did it well. So it comes second nature to me.
Okay.
But how I got drug into running is that, and I believe it was the day I announced I was leaving the DA's office, several officers from several agencies came to me and they said, hey, you can't leave. You're one of the few left with experience. And I said, just watch. I can't work for this administration. And they made me promise at that point that I would run for DA. And I told them, I'm not making any promises. Let them do their thing here, and so be it. I'm going to live my life and start my practice. As time went on, I had victims come in too, tell me their problems, that their cases wouldn't get filed. They were told to go sue these people civilly because, literally, some victims were told, a Kings County jury's not smart enough to understand your case. And just insulting things like that. I'm from
The
Kings County.
explanation that a victim might get when the prosecutor decides not to charge someone with a crime?
Correct.
is what you're talking about.
Right. I can think of one case in particular where at the time, the chief ADA, or chief deputy, as they call him there, literally told a victim, your embezzlement case of $30,000 or $40,000 is way too complicated for a Kings County jury to understand. I was insulted by that because I was born and raised in Kings County. I love that community. I have no plans of leaving it, and as far as I'm concerned, I'll die within 10 miles of where I was born. So the bottom line is I need that community to stay safe. I need people to trust law enforcement,
Yeah.
because we have a whole section of our community who just doesn't trust what's coming out of the DA's office. And there's a huge gap between communication on what's going on in the DA's office to law enforcement to the community. And I think
Okay.
it takes a really good leader to bring all those together, because if you get community buy-in with the police, you're going to have a situation that people are now working together instead of against each other. You know, I can't think of any segment of our community who wants crime to run rampant.
No.
Everybody wants to be safe.
No. Well, I got a couple of questions I want to ask you. We could go so many different places with what you're talking about. But let's back up a little bit. You're talking about people in the community outside the attorneys that are working at district attorney's office or the defense attorneys. Just what is a district attorney? They call it a DA. And what does that office do?
That is a great question. I have been door to door, and I have hit several hundred, if not thousands, of doors so far during this campaign. And I'm surprised that a lot of people just do not know what a DA does. And a district attorney is the leader of all of law enforcement in the county. It really is the chief law enforcement officer. So as the DA, you are the hub for every law enforcement agency, city, county. You are the training aspect and the leadership for every deputy district attorney who's representing victims and law enforcement and the law in court. So in that regard, it is your job to give and provide all the tools necessary so that the truth is found and that justice is served. That doesn't mean that you throw the book at people or that you're always seeking to file cases or that you're always seeking the conviction. Sometimes new facts come to be, but a good prosecutor gets all the facts about a case at the beginning. So a DA sets the tone. How thorough do you want to be before you file a case? How fair and honest do you want to be after you file it?
So these are the things you're talking about that makes the difference between one district attorney or another. It sounds like style, or obviously experience, or tone. Like what does the chief law enforcement officer bring to the table that could make a difference in a community?
Well, I'll tell you, the one thing you can do is lead, and best leadership is usually by example.
Okay.
When you have an office wherein you have 16 line deputies, and that's all they have down there, 16 line deputies, and 11 of them leave in 2 years, and these are your most experienced one, a tone was set. And there's a reason 11 different people chose to leave. Now, some of them retired due to attrition, and they were really retired on the job anyway. But when you have 11 people leave,
That's a big turnover.
that's huge. That's most of your institutional knowledge. To hire people fresh out of law school, and even though they might be nice people, they might even have great pedigrees, they might have great degrees and been to great law schools. If they can't perform in court and they don't have law enforcement behind them, they're ineffective. If victims are disappointed that they're not being communicated with about what's going on with their case, victims are disappointed, and that spreads throughout the community. I've been walking door to door, and the tone set with this administration is that the deputy DAs are not performing well in court by even jurors' standards. So the chief law enforcement officer can actually show up to work, be a full-time DA, get his hands dirty or her hands dirty, do the work that the deputy DAs are supposed to do, and show them how to do the job by example.
Okay.
The current DA has had issues with absenteeism. I was there for 18 months, and I had maybe 3 conversations with him.
Oh my gosh. So how does, other than leading by example, how does a district attorney coming in new have everyone back them, fall in line with them when they're confident, get everybody working together as a team rather than some bickering?
Well, I had the circumstance of being the interim chief for just 3 brief months before the last election. During that time, we had a whole slew of changes that everybody was on board with, everybody was happy to make. We had unity amongst all the prosecutors, and things were great. When the election happened, the current DA then had his people who were already working there move into places and develop alliances, so to speak, with other deputy DAs, and it drove a huge wedge between the staff. And the example was that certain attorneys would be shifted to different places and marginalized, and certain attorneys wouldn't. So it was a race to see who could get on the good side of this political regime. And I want to take politics out of it. I'm the type of attorney and the type of person who I might not agree with you, but I certainly will give you the chance to prove yourself. And we can talk more about that in depth.
That sounds like a great district attorney. Yeah, we'll be right back with a second segment, because it seems like we have another 10 minutes of material, 12 minutes of material. So we'll be right back.
Lunch phone, what is your location, please?
I'm in Fresno's Tower District.
What is your budget, please?
I only have $7.
Well, that leaves you only one choice. Go directly to Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District. He is having a lunch special for $6.89.
Well, that won't leave me enough money to get a drink.
No worries. Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District will get you lunch and a drink for just $6.89.
Wow! I'm going straight to Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District to get the lunch special and drink for just $6.89.
Thank you for calling Lunch Phone. This has been a recording.
Let our family at Avakian Insurance Services help protect your family's future. If you've bought a new home, changed vehicles, or just need a comprehensive review, let our agents help you. As your family grows, we can offer you competitive rates on life and health insurance. Call Avakian Insurance Services for a quote today. Avakian Insurance Services, 268-7386, or visit us online at avakianinsurance.com. Come join the A-Team.
Watts Family Grill. We grill slow, smile, secret sauce, cold beer, and old friends. Park out back. Look for us on Blackstone, south of McKinley. Watts Family Grill.
Hi, Stan Gross of Horn Photo. Are you looking for a camera that takes better pictures than your phone? Why not give Horn Photo a shot? We can show you fantastic cameras from Nikon, Canon, Sony, and GoPro. Your time is valuable, so before you buy from Costco, Best Buy, or the internet, come see us. We've got great prices and deals, super knowledgeable staff, and we've been selling cameras in Fresno for 76 years. We're in the Villaggio at Blackstone and Nees, or go to hornphoto.com, Fresno's Camera Center.
In 1985, Larry Korth set out to help his friends, family, and community find affordable ways to buy a home or a business property. 30 years later, Mid-Valley Financial is the premier mortgage banker in the Central Valley. The professional staff at Mid-Valley will find the best mortgage products for your family. Mid-Valley Financial takes great pride in being the Central Valley's local lender. Visit us at midvalleyfinancial.com.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Welcome back to Law Talk, where if you have legal questions, we have legal answers. And we are fortunate once again to have Keith Fagundes, an attorney from Hanford and Kings County, running for Kings County District Attorney. One of the things that we were talking about before, leading right in, you have several endorsements for District Attorney. Could you tell us about some of those?
I do. I am very proud of all the endorsements that I've had. In fact, law enforcement were the first to come out. And I have the endorsements from the Corcoran Police Officers Association, the Lemoore Police Officers Association, the Avenel Police Officers Association, the Hanford Police Officers Association, as well as the California Correctional Peace Officers Association, the Peace Officers on Research Association of California, commonly known as PORAC, as well as individual deputy sheriffs, individual probation officers, local teachers, and a lot of business leaders and community leaders in our
And when those
area.
organizations make an endorsement, they only endorse one candidate, right? They can't endorse both.
Right. In fact, most of the time, both candidates go, they present themselves, we talk about our issues, we talk about what we can do better, and in this case, every agency, law enforcement agency, that is endorsing in this election has endorsed me. I've also gone a step further. I received the endorsement from the Kings County Republican Assembly, as well as of yesterday, I received verbal notice that the Kings County Central Committee for the Republican Party has also endorsed me.
Isn't that unusual to have such all the law enforcement endorsing someone other than the incumbent, the person that's in the office now?
It is. I've been around for, again, 15 years in the business, and more than that, obviously, in the community, because I'm 43 now. So I've been around a while. And it is. I have never seen such broad sweeping support for the opponent or to the challenger to the sitting DA. And usually there's something that the person did within 3 years that law enforcement can latch onto. In this case, we just have broad sweeping support in my candidacy, and I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, that's something to be proud of. I guess you can let the endorsements speak for themselves. Let me get your name right, because I heard you say it, and I think Keith Fagundes, but it looks like if I was reading it, it might come out differently or something like.
Right. Most
What do
people
people call you when they call your name wrong?
Well, when I was a prosecutor and I was locking them up for life, and I did a whole lot of that, they called me different names. But as far as my last name, it's spelled Fagundes, or it's pronounced Fagundes. It's spelled Fagundes. It is a Portuguese name, so in Portuguese, I guess you'd say Fagundes.
Fagundes.
But since most people don't say that, I was raised, it's Fagundes, and it's not a common name, but it's something that'll certainly stick in your mind.
Okay. Or they see the gun, they know that's the district attorney, and maybe they'll call you Fagundes or something like that.
Right,
I don't know. Okay. Now, does the district attorney carry a gun?
You know, if they get the concealed weapons permit and the sheriff grants it to them, they certainly could, but they have to
Okay.
have the same reason that every other citizen needs to.
Okay, so it's not
So-
some special thing. You're not walking around with a gun. I mean, it's not like a part of the job, like law enforcement would normally carry a
No, it's
a gun or
not.
something
You,
like that.
you certainly could if you have a concealed weapons permit.
Okay.
I do know one thing, some DAs love to wear the badge on their hip.
Okay.
And to me, you never wear a badge unless you're going to back it up with a gun.
Okay.
So that's kind of my whole attitude. But, you know, you asked me earlier about why I'm in this race.
Exactly.
And I talked about the law enforcement agencies and the officers therein asking me to run because they weren't satisfied with what was going on in the DA's office. But on the positive note, my children really wanted me to run. I have two girls, Emily and Gracie, and it was hard for them to understand that I had switched jobs because I still have a lot of friends in law enforcement. At the school, Mary Immaculate Queen School in Lemoore, where my children attend, we have a lot of police officers and deputy sheriffs sending their children there. So we're really a close-knit family and a tight-knit community. And it's hard for everybody to see me doing criminal defense work. And frankly, I have success at what I do. So it's really hard for them to see me having success at the cases that they're working to the opposite direction of. And the success I have isn't because we let bad guys go or I somehow play with the system. The success is that we find the truth from this side. And we have convinced even the least experienced deputy DA that this case should not be before a jury. It should not be in court.
Right.
And I've had much success with that.
Well, in theory, the idea is that you have a vigorous advocate on both sides, and then you get to the bottom of things, that you're going to play by the rules and share the information and get to the right answer. You don't want to be locking up the wrong person or a person that's not that isn't guilty, and you don't want to be letting somebody that is guilty go free. But and a lot of that maybe comes to which cases you charge. How do you decide? My understanding of a district attorney's job is he's the one that decides whether they're going to charge a person with a crime or not.
Correct.
I mean, there's probably a lot more to it than that. How do you decide that?
Well, you decide it by one, making sure that law enforcement is doing their job properly and fairly and thoroughly. You also back it up with experienced individuals making sound decisions with the filing of cases. Because let's face it, you could be made a criminal tomorrow by the stroke of a pen, whether you did anything wrong or not. So it takes a lot of good judgment and temperament to know who to file on and who not to file on. But even once you've gotten past that point, you have to know who is best suited for rehabilitation versus who's best suited to be locked up. And the law now dictates that we provide rehabilitation and that people have opportunities to get their lives back on track. So as the chief law enforcement officer, you have to uphold the law first and foremost. And sometimes you don't get to choose when upholding the law, whether that's politically fit for your needs or not. So it takes somebody with a stern backbone to be able to make the call, because not all victims might be happy when you have to point the law out that your case can't be prosecuted. But generally speaking, if you're communicating with victims and law enforcement and co-counsel or opposing counsel and the court, everybody can be on the same page. It is an adversarial system, but you don't have to be adversaries necessarily.
I agree with that.
So I think
That's the
there's
way it is in all different parts of the law, not just criminal, in workers' comp, in work injuries, and personal injury, and in all the other areas. Sometimes people come out of law school, they think they got to be mean and nasty in order to be effective, but that sometimes is a little bit short-sighted, not the best way to approach things.
I agree wholeheartedly. You can have some of my best education came from experienced opposing counsel who were defense attorneys at the time, sitting me down and explaining, here's what you don't understand about this aspect of life. I mean, I freely admit, when I started being a prosecutor, I'd never seen drugs. I didn't know what drugs were. I had to learn from not only my narcotics task force officers, but also co-counsel defense attorneys who were prior prosecutors. And they were able to sit down and you learn from those experiences. You shouldn't be adversaries with them. But when it's time to go to trial, if you can't come to an agreement and the case is what it is, you need to still have a relationship so that that trial progresses in such a way that you're not inconveniencing jurors or victims or the rest of your witnesses, which may include law enforcement or lay witnesses.
So I like that style, that you're not up here on a pedestal. You started out as an attorney at one point in law school, and then in district attorney's office. You went there to get trial experience, and you learned not only from the district attorneys that you were working with, but also from the opposing counsel. And that's the way it's supposed to work, but that's not always the stories that you hear. I would imagine that would allow you to command the respect from all sides of the spectrum, which is exactly what the chief law enforcement officer of Kings County is supposed to do.
Right, and in fact, it's some people, the current administration doesn't like to have relationships with the judges, and every working relationship requires communication. So if you cut off all communication, whether it's with the judges, law enforcement, your victims, your defendants, which through their defense counsel, if you cut off that communication, you're never going to be actually seeking the truth. So that my experience has been that you be open-minded on what comes to you, you process it, investigate things thoroughly. Because I have seen people who have been charged with crimes, and 6-8 months later, some new investigation comes up, and you have to go investigate that, and you think, oh, if I had known that 8 months ago, I wouldn't have filed it.
Then how do you get out in a face-saving way for?
Well, and that's the problem.
Shouldn't have been.
I think the face-saving way is you call it what it is. If it means you dismiss a case, you dismiss it, but let all parties know what's happening. Too often, DA's offices, in Kings County, I'll say, I'm not going to speak to the rest of the state, things will happen on a case, victims are the last to know. Even though Prop 9 requires that victims be informed and have communication, I think that's a sad circumstance. I know 3 people off the top of my head who have come to me because they know nothing what's going on with their case. Once I've explained it to them as a defense attorney and the other possible situations, they seem to understand, even though that's not what they wanted, but they understand.
That's an unusual situation, because when I think of a victim that's working with an attorney that's prosecuting a crime, I'm not really thinking of the victim as a client of the district attorney, like they're a client of the accused. That's an unusual relationship.
And truthfully, we are not necessarily we don't represent the victims as attorneys as the attorney-client relationship. We represent the people of the state of California, and your victim just might be an aspect of the case.
Okay, that's an important distinction. So we talked a lot about the law and the race, but we didn't really say anything about you. What do you do besides law? Because I'm sure you...
Well, besides law, I have two daughters, Emily, who is 10, and Gracie, who's 7. Of course, I'm married to my wife, Renee. We've been married for 19 years now. We started dating when we were very young, so we've been together about 28 years dating and married combined. We live through our children, basically. Okay. And my oldest daughter, Emily, is into so many sports and extracurricular activities between the school they go to, Mary Immaculate Queen School in Lemoore. I'm on that school board. I do the fundraising committees. I am part of the men's club fundraising committee. I'm on the church finance council for St. Peter's. And with all those activities, additionally keeping up with Emily's
busy man.
track,
That's like no room for hobbies like sports or
it is.
Playing or reading or who knows what. It's like kids and work.
It is. Emily's into soccer, softball, track, and she sings in the church choir. Luckily, Gracie, my youngest one, my Spitfire, she trails along, and she's got enough energy to keep up with us, and we have a ball doing it. I mean, it's a lot of work, but we keep up with it all.
Okay, well, I don't want to forget, if people want to get in touch with you, they heard your message and they think they want to back you. How do they get in touch with your campaign or put a sign in their yard or anything like that?
Right. We have, of course, our next mailer going out this week. It should be hitting mailboxes, but for any viewers not on the mailing list, you can go to www.fagundesforda.com, all one word, or you can go to our Facebook site, Fagundes for District Attorney. And you'll get any information you need to know. I encourage you to go to our website. It has a list of all of our business and community leaders, Steve and Teresa Diaz, Willow Grove Farms, Russ Waymeyer, Ken Martella, Manuel and Shirley Maciel. The list goes on and on. I could be here for 20 minutes. But that's how you get a hold of us.
Okay, sounds good. Well, we'll be right back with more Law Talk. Coming up next is Joby Jones for Stop the Violence. And I'm looking forward to what he has to say. We talked before the show, and he has a lot of good things going on there. We'll be right back.
This segment brought to you by Javita Coffee. Are you losing weight drinking coffee? Find out how Javita can change your life.
Watch Tim Thiessen live Wednesdays at 3 p.m. right here on CentralValleyTalk.com and on digital channel 33.2. If you missed the live broadcast, we're on every Wednesday night at 11 p.m. on Comcast channel 200 and digital channel 43.5. You don't want to miss this.
Hey, my name's Chris DeVold, the host of Sex Drugs Chris DeVold. I've been on CentralValleyTalk.com for 8 months partying on Tuesday nights, but guess what? The party's moving nights. Now I'm on Friday nights at 8 p.m. Apparently the party was just too much on Tuesday nights. So join me on CentralValleyTalk.com where I promise to bring you one live music act a week. Sex Drugs Chris DeVold, Friday nights, 8 p.m. on CentralValleyTalk.com.
This just in. Tower District houses are selling for as little as $300 per month. If you have a job and decent credit, you can own your own home. If you can come up with a down payment, you can own a home a lot cheaper than you can rent, and your payment will never go up. Also, you could deduct most of your house payment from your income taxes. If you'd like to lock in your monthly house payment at $300 to $500 per month for the next 30 years, call Mike Briggs Properties, 486-6758. Mike Briggs Properties, 486-6758.
Hi, Stan Gross of Horn Photo. Are you looking for a camera that takes better pictures than your phone? Why not give Horn Photo a shot? We can show you fantastic cameras from Nikon, Canon, Sony, and GoPro. Your time is valuable, so before you buy from Costco, Best Buy, or the internet, come see us. We've got great prices and deals, super knowledgeable staff, and we've been selling cameras in Fresno for 76 years. We're in the Villaggio at Blackstone and Nees, or go to hornphoto.com, Fresno's Camera Center.
I'm Mike Briggs, owner and CEO at CentralValleyTalk.com. If you like talk radio, you'll love CentralValleyTalk.com. All local, all live, all the time, CentralValleyTalk.com.
Hey everybody, let's have some fun. Right. You only live once, and when you're dead, you're done. So let the good times roll. Let the good times roll. Let the good times.
Watch Mike and Athena Fridays at 1 p.m. on CentralValleyTalk.com.
Hi, my name is Bonnie, and I'm a show producer here at CentralValleyTalk.com. We have a lot of great shows that you can share your business with our viewers. I'd love for you to give me a call. My number is 559-289-9687.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Welcome back to Law Talk, where if you have legal questions, we have legal answers. And today we're honored to have Joby Jones on our show. Thank you for coming out, making the time to come talk with us. You're with Stop the Violence, and you're a minister.
Yes.
All right. Well, what is Stop the Violence?
Well, what Stop the Violence is a few ex-gang members and people who have lost in the community. They've understand the pain and the things that happen, and we decided to come together and make a stand. Basically, come up and say, enough is enough. We're tired. Something needs to be done, and how we go about doing it, we do it.
Have you lost anyone close to you that got you into this?
Oh yeah, I lost my brother a few years back, about 4 years ago. Me and him were tight knit. We got in trouble together. You know what I mean? We got same father, different moms though. So when he got put out, I left. When my mom put me out, he left. You know what I mean? So we did everything together. We went to prison together. You know what I mean? So. When I started getting right,
you weren't always a minister?
No, I wasn't always a minister. Matter of fact, a minister was the last thing I thought I was going to be. That was something God had planned, and it kind of, my brother's death kind of really pushed that into motion. You know what I mean? So.
Okay. So, what does Stop the Violence mean? Not only what you do, is it stand for something?
Yes, it's strategies to overcome poverty, prison, and parole. That's basically three main areas of our lives that we have to deal with. The poverty, that's what we see. We wake up every morning and we go outside and it's like, dang, we're here again. What we gonna do? And so the way we go about handling that at that time is wrong. You know what I mean? Because we go about, we bring more destruction than what we do. So we see the situation. We know that we want to be there. So we just do what we got to do to come up out of that situation.
Okay.
And prison and parole, those are the kind of things that happen when you in poverty. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Right.
So, what exactly do you do at Stop the Violence? What practical programs specifically are you guys doing?
Right now, we're coming up with mentoring. That's going to be one. Getting these guys jobs. That's going to be another one. Putting the guns down. At least being able to, handle conflict resolution. Basically, that's what that is. Finding another way to solve the problems that you have. You can't get mad because somebody steps on your shoe and you be ready to shoot them and stuff like that. It's nonsense. And so that's one thing we're doing. We're working on some things with ELC. Hopefully, they got some things that we're backing up. But basically, it's just getting to know. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Understanding that you're a person. This person has kids, and they may have a mother who cares about them. So you got to respect life.
Okay.
That's one thing.
Did you have any close calls?
Oh yeah, I was shot 8 times. Yeah.
8 times.
Yeah. I was walking down the street. 2 cars put up on me. They start shooting. I don't know. Scary. You know what I mean?
I can imagine.
Seeing the nozzles from the gun flash going off. Yeah.
It wasn't your time.
No, it wasn't.
You
my
still
time.
had some work to do in this world.
Still got a lot of work, and that's how another reason I know God is real and God is good.
Okay. So is this your baby? Did you create this organization?
Yeah, this is my baby right here. I do this out of love. I do this because I want to give back, and I do this because I care. It's personal. That's one thing I tell everybody. If you know me and why I do this, it's personal. I'm not. I don't. It's not about how much money we got. It's how many people I can help, how many people I can pull out the gang, how many people I can divert. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because burying my brother, that hurt. So I see a lot of people who doing those things. I see them as an extension of my brother, as an extension of me, because I know where that takes you, and I know
you couldn't save your brother, but maybe you save somebody else. Help somebody
Yeah,
else.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. What is your goal? What is it if you could accomplish these things?
Okay.
You will have accomplished your mission.
Yeah. My goal is to bring unity to our community, to bring happiness, joy. That's one thing that I really don't see. I don't see the family as we used to be. I used to be able to go down to my friend's house and not worry about nothing. My grandma and them can talk to us without saying anything to my baby and getting offended. I think we got away from that. It takes a village to raise everybody. And if you see my kids doing something, go ahead, do what you got to do, and then let me know why you did that. Don't be afraid. You know what I mean? Because I want what's best for my kids. So if I see your kids out there, I'm gonna say something. Because look, y'all deserve better. You you're a future. You have a future in your life, and it's not this. It don't have to
Okay.
be this street right here.
Okay. So how do you get your message out to people? You on Facebook? You
I'm on Facebook. I
you got-
have.
what you got?
Yeah, I have
T-shirt?
T-shirts. Yeah.
I get to keep one of those.
Yeah, you get to keep one.
How much are they anyway?
They're $10 a shirt.
$10? $10?
Yeah.
I want two.
Thank you. Well, take the two
Okay,
that you
I'll
want right
take
here.
the two. I'll get that picture. Well, show us. Show everybody what you got.
This is one of them. Stop the violence.
That's a pretty cool shirt, actually. Are you allowed to wear that at school? You know, it's red and all.
Yeah, this is the school friendly one.
Okay.
Because the other one, I had made one before, which was this one.
Okay. Oh, that's got a gun on it.
Yeah, and because of the gun, they wouldn't allow the kids to wear it.
Oh, okay.
So I got two versions of them.
Okay.
We're gonna make posters.
And this is just different colors.
Yeah,
those
different
are
color.
The
I
same
have
design, but different colors. You got
same
black.
colors: black, gray,
Okay.
blue. I have a white one. You know, so I just try to keep that going. We're talking about making posters and yard signs for the yard, and then
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so because a lot of people they're interested. I have my own Stop the Violence website page. You know that we're
Oh
building.
yeah.
on.
How do we find you? Do you know the website address or the?
Not the website address
you know,
yet.
the
We're working on
Facebook?
that. With
You get the Facebook.
Facebook, I have Joby Jones, Joby Banging for Christ Jones. That's a part of my.
Say that again, because you said
Joby
it fast.
Banging for Christ Jones. That's a part of my ministry.
Banging for Christ.
Banging for Christ.
Joby Banging for Christ Jones.
And you'll be able to go to Stop the Violence Fresno, you know, and that's one of it. And you'll be able to see some of the people who buy the shirts and things like that of nature. They buy them, and they represent them, they tag us
What
in
do you
our
mean?
page.
You got like a list of everybody that bought a shirt?
Oh,
You're like,
there's-
my name's gonna be on there now too?
Well, what we do is we take a picture of everybody wearing a shirt, and then
Okay.
we post it on the page, and we have over, oh man, it's a lot of people. I'll just say it like that. We had a Stop the Violence block party about a month ago, and over 300 people showed up, all wearing their shirts, no
that's
problems. No police, you know, everybody came there for the right reason. We had a lot of speakers, we had a lot of music, a lot of the women who lost some of their kids, they got up and spoke. Because
Okay.
I don't believe we understand as men the damage that we do to our families, because we be out there doing certain things. So when the women got up there and they began to speak, it hit home with a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
can
people.
imagine.
You know,
I can imagine.
It hit home real good. So the next one we're having is May 10th at the Hinton Center.
At
And
the where?
At the Hinton Center.
I don't know where that is. Where is
It's off of California and Church, Fresno and Church.
The Hind Center?
Hinton, Hinton Center. And
It's
I'll
like
get-
a community center?
Yes, it's a
church
community
or
center.
Community center.
I'll get the address for you in a minute.
Okay. We're coming back after. We'll have a second
so
segment,
I have that
we can
address
put
for
those
you.
things on.
But basically, it's going to be for a Mother's Day, more or less. You know,
That's a great
guided
idea.
towards them, because once again, it's the men out here doing all of the nonsense. And one thing my mother told me is, when you was locked up, I was locked up. When you was shot, I felt that pain too. And I don't think, as young individuals,
Sometimes we don't
understand that.
realize
Yeah.
the effect that we have on all the people that love
Yeah.
us when we
Yeah.
do what we do.
Yeah, because we're that's our selfish mode. That's what I call it. All we're focused on is what I need to do, not what I need to do, how I go about doing it, and I don't care who gets hurt.
Right.
And we don't understand that, because you don't care. There's probably 100 or so people around you that do. You know, my mom never knew if I was coming home. My girlfriend at the time never knew if I was coming home. My kids, you know, it hurts. It hurts. My whole 20s I spent in jail, in prison. So I see my boys grow up from a jail cell. That hurts. And so now I'm here to say, you know what, we got to do it. We got to do it differently. We got to do it better.
So you have some wisdom that you can share
yeah.
to all that will listen.
Yeah. I tell them, my little cousins and things, if you listen, you will save 10 years of your life. You know what I mean? You'll be 10 years ahead of the game. I was 29 when I woke up, you know, but from 16 to 29, I woke up in Corcoran prison wondering, how did I get here? You know, my mama didn't raise me to be like this. You know what I mean?
So it's not just you. Stop the Violence is not just you. There's other people that are involved in doing things.
Yeah.
And how do you get in touch with the people that you help? They just come to you, or?
Well, I go look for them.
You go look for them.
Yeah, I go out in the street. I'm not, you know, I don't hide behind. You know what I mean? Some
Okay.
people stand up and hide. No, I go where they are. I have that confidence with the Lord. You know, I'm able to go in there. I sit down and talk with them. I play chess with them. I play cards with them.
Okay.
Because that's where I come from. So, who better to help somebody than somebody who's been there. You know what I mean?
And you told me that you were going through, I don't know what the word is, for minister school for.
Yeah, I go to seminary.
Seminary.
School. Yeah, I go to 4 years of seminary school off of FMBI, Fresno Missionary Baptist Institute, off of Shepherd and Clovis. So there's some good guys, Shepherd and Cedar, I should say. They're good guys out there. They taught me everything I know. I stick with the scriptures. I don't add stuff, take away to it, because I know it's the word of God, and that's what we need right now. We need the love of God in our city and my side of town to help change these individuals. We're filled with hate, and we're filled with madness and anger at what's going on. You know what I mean?
Do you get to preach sometimes?
Oh, yeah, I get to preach.
Yeah?
Yeah. My pastor, he allows me to preach once a month, and then I also have my own, I'll say it's a service at the Sunset Community Center every Sunday at 2 o'clock. So I go in there, and a few of us come in, and they come and listen.
So if somebody wanted to meet you and speak with you, maybe they could go to the service at
Sunset they can come
Community
to Sunset
Center.
Community Center. They can come
what time did you say?
At 2 p.m. 2 p.m.
On Sundays?
Yeah, every Sunday.
Every Sundays?
Yeah.
What are cross streets?
That is West and Eden, 1345 West Eden.
1345 West Eden.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have bigger cross streets? I'm not sure where that is.
Oh, that's off of Kearney and Thorne.
Okay.
Kearney and Thorne. Those are the bigger cross streets.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. Is there any particular, I was going to ask you if there's any particular program that you're most proud of that you're doing now, but we may come back to that after the break.
Okay.
So I'm with Joby Jones with Stop the Violence, Strategies to Overcome Poverty, Prison, and Parole. And we will be right back.
Lunch phone, what is your location, please?
I'm in Fresno's Tower District.
What is your budget, please?
I only have $7.
Well, that leaves you only one choice. Go directly to Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District. He is having a lunch special for $6.89.
Well, that won't leave me enough money to get a drink.
No worries. Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District will get you lunch and a drink for just $6.89.
Wow! I'm going straight to Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District to get the lunch special and drink for just $6.89.
Thank you for calling Lunch Phone. This has been a recording.
Let our family at Avakian Insurance Services help protect your family's future. If you've bought a new home, changed vehicles, or just need a comprehensive review, let our agents help you. As your family grows, we can offer you competitive rates on life and health insurance. Call Avakian Insurance Services for a quote today. Avakian Insurance Services, 268-7386, or visit us online at avakianinsurance.com. Come join the A-Team.
Watts Family Grill. We grill slow, smile, secret sauce, cold beer, and old friends. Park out back. Look for us on Blackstone, south of McKinley. Watts Family Grill.
Hi, Stan Gross of Horn Photo. Are you looking for a camera that takes better pictures than your phone? Why not give Horn Photo a shot? We can show you fantastic cameras from Nikon, Canon, Sony, and GoPro. Your time is valuable, so before you buy from Costco, Best Buy, or the internet, come see us. We've got great prices and deals, super knowledgeable staff, and we've been selling cameras in Fresno for 76 years. We're in the Villaggio at Blackstone and Nees, or go to hornphoto.com, Fresno's Camera Center.
In 1985, Larry Korth set out to help his friends, family, and community find affordable ways to buy a home or a business property. 30 years later, Mid-Valley Financial is the premier mortgage banker in the Central Valley. The professional staff at Mid-Valley will find the best mortgage products for your family. Mid-Valley Financial takes great pride in being the Central Valley's local lender. Visit us at midvalleyfinancial.com.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Welcome back to LawTalk, where if you have legal questions, we have legal answers. My name is Chris White. I do work injuries, accidents, immigration. If you have questions about any kind of law, even if it's outside my specialty, we'll answer those questions. We'll find the person who can answer the question for you. Today, we're back with Joby Jones from Stop the Violence Movement, which I wasn't thinking of it as a movement. You're getting more people following, joining, doing the same thing you're doing?
It's a movement. It's something that the people want to see, not just me. So one thing I told them is it has to come from us. As it has to come from people who've lived it, who are in it, who've seen it, who understand it. That way the message is that much more powerful. That way the message is that more clear, and then they'll see, hold on, anytime you see a group of people standing up for something, the world has to take notice. You know what I mean? And this is what it's not about me. It's about all of us coming together saying, look, we're tired of losing our children. We're tired of losing, I was walking down the street when I got shot. There's things like that that's going on in our community. I know at my time of coming up, there were over 100-some gangs. I mean, people getting killed a year. Now it's been 60 in the last couple of years, over 2-3 years period. That's a lot of people dying.
You're paying attention to the homicide rates in Fresno County, like Chief of Police is paying attention to the homicide rates in Fresno County.
Last few weeks, a lot of shootings been going on, and a few people have been dead. But like I've been telling people, it's not just about the last few weeks. It's about the last few years. You know what I mean? It's a buildup over years and over time. And a lot of these kids whose fathers are dead, and if they're not dead, then the other fathers who were in the crime, they're in prison for life. You know what I mean? So that's now
kind of like a nasty cycle.
Yeah, and you got this young man with no father and no brother, and he's growing up by himself.
Where do you even begin to address that?
You have to address at home first. I believe everything, it starts at home, and if it's not home, some men has to be active in that child's life. A lot of times, I know that was one thing that they showed me from the street life. My father, he wasn't there. My mom, she worked all the time. So what happened was one of the big homies from the street, they came and they took me under their wing, and they showed me the wrong way to do things.
One of the big homies, one of the guys in the gang, one of the gangsters said, come hang with us, we'll show you how to be a man.
My grandma and them, we weren't rich, we're poverty. Everybody in the house was on drugs. So for her coping mechanism was to go play bingo, so she left. And when she left, you got all these kids in the house by themselves, and she had a lock on the refrigerator. We got to fend for ourselves. Now, here comes this guy. He got a brand new car. You know what I mean? And you 16 years old. You ain't got no money in your pocket. And he said, "Look, I can give you this."
I can see how that would happen.
Yeah. I'll give you this if you do it. Yeah. So it's like, okay, now I'm in. Now I'm baited.
So you have a program you told me about.
Yes. It's called the POPS program. That's one thing we do. It's where I volunteer at the Fresno Street Saints. And what we do
Fresno Street Saints.
Yeah, Fresno Street Saints.
Saints.
Yes. This is one of my guys, Brian King. He called me in and asked me to help because he saw some of the things I used to do with my cousins. I would take them out and play football, about 9-10 of us, and just
like
do something.
Big Brother, Big Sister, sort of boys club, girls club sort of thing.
Yeah, just do something positive with them. Give them something to occupy their time, their minds, so they can get away from the reality that they're going through in this life. And what we do at the POS program is that we train them, we teach them, we bring them in for a few weeks. It's a 90-day program, you know what I mean? But in that 90 days, we're teaching them financial literacy. We're teaching them.
You're talking about the fathers that you're training.
The POPS program, yes.
Who then turn around and train the sons and daughters.
Yes. Because a lot of the men aren't in their lives. So this program gives them.
So this is the actual father of the children, or this is just
this is the father of the child.
The actual father of the child.
So any man who's from 18 to 45 years old, and they don't have a job or anything like that, we bring them in and we help them. You know what I mean? We sit down, we mentor with them, we talk about their way of thinking, critical thinking, and how to take responsibility for some of the things that they got going on. Kids are a responsibility that you did.
I can't think of a better motivation to be a better father than your son.
Yeah.
So, where do the fathers come from? Where do they just come out of the woodwork? You go out and round them up. They come to you.
Once again, I go out rounding them up. You have to give them something. You know what I mean? If we want y'all to stop, we have to have something for them to stop. Like I tell them, it ain't gonna be what you're used to getting out here, but you'll feel good about it because you've done it the right way. You know what I mean? So you would take.
Wait, say that again. It's not going to be like what you're getting out there.
Okay,
Like it's not going to be the lifestyle.
It's
That
not
you're
gonna
not
be-
like all this money.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be the glamour, the glitz. It's not going to be the heartache that also come with it. You know what I mean? Because there are two sides to it. A lot of what I have a problem with, a lot of the music nowadays, they glorify that lifestyle, the violence, the money, the fame, and they don't tell you the other side. You know what I mean? There's a lot of hurt to it. There's a lot of losses that come with it. There's a lot of loneliness that come with it. There are consequences for living that lifestyle that affects your family. You know. So
We were talking before the show something about a bunch of musicians, and I didn't catch all that.
yes, okay. What that is when we have these events, we have them. We're trying to have them every other month. So probably around June or July, we'll have another one. But what it is coming together with some positive music, you know, something that's going to inspire, something that's going to motivate people to come together and fellowship and enjoy
All right.
good times, you know.
And you're not just talking about like church music, gospel music.
No,
You're talking about
yeah,
like even like
yeah, we have regular music,
clean rap.
clean rap. We have some youngsters that came out last time. They was probably the best performances that came out. We have a lot of guys who are aspiring rappers. They want to come out. Women that come out and do their songs. We have dancers that come out. Basically, it's just we can enjoy ourselves without any nonsense happening. That's basically what that is. That's what the whole Stop the Violence is. Everybody who comes, their mind and their hearts, and they want to do the same thing.
Okay. Now, we were talking a little bit before is about a program that I saw was going on in Chicago. I think it got picked up by some of the other newspapers. They were promoting it around. They had a program where they had people going into the hospital or the emergency room when somebody got shot, like in a gang-related incident. And essentially, we're convincing them not to retaliate, not to escalate it, to stop. Are you involved in anything like that? Or are there any programs like that that you're aware of in Fresno?
Well, what we do something similar to that because there were some shootings that happened. But one thing, I like to do it. You know what I mean? Let me go and let me talk to you, man, about what's going on. You know what I mean? We don't really. Everybody that I deal with, we have that access to go to where these guys are. You know, we're all from the street. We're all from that life. We all know
everybody
somebody.
thinks it's a good idea.
Yeah.
But who's doing it?
We actually go. You know, one of my friends, his brother got killed a few weeks ago. So, you know, I just talked to him, and I'm saying, look, you know, sometimes you got to let things happen, because if we go and you go do something, what's going to happen? It's not going to stop. It's going to keep retaliation. You know, I had that same, I was confronted with that same problem when my brother died. You know, they called me up. I know where he at. I know who done it. You know, but in the big picture, the big scheme of things,
not gonna make me feel any better.
You know, and then I'm doing the same thing. I'm still a part of the problem. And I want to be a part of the solution. I want to help fix what's wrong.
Have you gone back to some of the guys that you used to hang out with, like in the gang, or did you just make a clean break? It's like I'm not gonna go back there. I don't want to get sucked back into that.
No, well, I go back. I still go back now. You know, I may go back after I leave here. It's just because I love them. Even, you know, there's one thing the scripture tells me. It says, "Lord, forgive them, for they know not what they do." And what that gets me is that even though they understand, they just don't know how powerful that grip is that life has on them until somebody who makes it out goes back in there and says, look y'all, we're working on some things that can give y'all the strength to come out. And I think that gives them the hope. You know what I mean? If he made it, I can make it. If he comes out, I can come out. And so you just plant that seed, and you're going to have to gain their trust for them to finally say, look, okay, I'm ready to do it. You know,
I hear you.
What I mean? Yeah.
I hear you.
So
do they have women that are doing the same thing that you're doing, going out and rounding people up? Or, I mean, your mission is mainly men and boys.
Yeah,
but you talk about the women coming up. There's women coming up and giving a testimony or telling their story.
Well, we can't do it without the women. I mean, come on. It goes both ways. We have to work together. This is, I say the men because we're the cause of the problem. You know what I mean? So when they see us standing up and saying something, the women gonna always say something. That's the one thing I know about the women. They're gonna speak their mind. You know what I mean? So, and we need that. But when we stand up and we do it together, now they'll say, now it's a team effort involved. And you know, when a team play together, the chances of winning are that much greater. You know what
That's
I mean?
right. You got to be a team player.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
is this bigger than just Fresno? This is a movement,
Yeah.
but it sounds like it may be hatched in Fresno. But I'm sure there's other things just like
Yeah.
this going on in other places.
It's a movement. I've been contacted to go a couple of other places, Sacramento to North Carolina. They asked me to come down to Watts, you know. But right now,
Who's they?
it's a couple people, you know.
Okay.
I have their name there in my Facebook and my inbox. But the
Okay.
thing is, let's get home right first. You know, let's
Okay.
get this home. Let's get this right. And then when we get this right and we have the plan that it works, now we
Yeah.
can go down here and work
Then
with y'all.
maybe you trade off.
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
go speak over there to their
Yeah,
organization.
yeah,
They come over
yeah,
here, speak
yeah.
to your organization, something like that.
But the whole key is let's get it here first.
Yeah. And how do people get in touch with you?
Facebook, Joby Jones, Joby Real Banging for Christ Jones. I have two. I have another one, Real Spit Jones. That'd be one you can really find me on. I have the Stop the Violence Fresno page. You could type that in and it'll come up. And anyway, my phone number.
And they can find you at Sunset Community Church at 2 p.m. on
every
Sundays.
Sunday. That's right.
1345
That's right.
West
West
Eden,
That's right.
near Kearney and
Kearney and West.
West was sort of another big street near there.
And my
Okay.
phone number is
Oh, yeah, if you got-
519-5952. And there you have it there.
What's that?
519-5952.
5952. You gotta be careful giving your cell number out on air. You're gonna be getting a lot of calls, but I guess that's the whole reason
Well,
why you're
the
here.
only time they call me is if they want something.
Okay. All right. Well, we will be back next week at 3 o'clock on Law Talk, where if you have legal questions, we have legal answers. I believe we may have several guests next week. With the elections coming up June 3rd, we will probably have one of the attorneys running for district attorney in Fresno County, possibly Lisa Smitkamp. We may have Chuck McGill on the show. He's running for Superior Court judge. And we may have a very interesting topic with David Hollingsworth talking about sex law. So stay tuned. 3 o'clock next Friday. We'll be back.
This segment brought to you by Javita Coffee. Are you losing weight drinking coffee? Find out how Javita can change your life.
Watch Tim Thiessen live Wednesdays at 3 p.m. right here on CentralValleyTalk.com and on digital channel 33.2. If you missed the live broadcast, we're on every Wednesday night at 11 p.m. on Comcast channel 200 and digital channel 43.5. You don't want to miss this.
Hey, my name's Chris DeVold, the host of Sex Drugs Chris DeVold. I've been on CentralValleyTalk.com for 8 months partying on Tuesday nights, but guess what? The party's moving nights. Now I'm on Friday nights at 8 p.m. Apparently the party was just too much on Tuesday nights. So join me on CentralValleyTalk.com where I promise to bring you one live music act a week. Sex Drugs Chris DeVold, Friday nights, 8 p.m. on CentralValleyTalk.com.
This just in. Tower District houses are selling for as little as $300 per month. If you have a job and decent credit, you can own your own home. If you can come up with a down payment, you can own a home a lot cheaper than you can rent, and your payment will never go up. Also, you could deduct most of your house payment from your income taxes. If you'd like to lock in your monthly house payment at $300 to $500 per month for the next 30 years, call Mike Briggs Properties, 486-6758. Mike Briggs Properties, 486-6758.
Hi, Stan Gross of Horn Photo. Are you looking for a camera that takes better pictures than your phone? Why not give Horn Photo a shot? We can show you fantastic cameras from Nikon, Canon, Sony, and GoPro. Your time is valuable, so before you buy from Costco, Best Buy, or the internet, come see us. We've got great prices and deals, super knowledgeable staff, and we've been selling cameras in Fresno for 76 years. We're in the Villaggio at Blackstone and Nees, or go to hornphoto.com, Fresno's Camera Center.
CentralValleyTalk.com